What's up, guys? Bix is here. We're doing a real casual video. I'm not gonna edit this. I'm just gonna roll with it. I want to teach you guys some stuff, and I haven't been able to make as much Overwatch content recently. Much content, period. Really busy. We're gonna get right into this. This is the top three tanks I believe low-ELO players should learn to help them learn the game and climb, and overall the ones I think you should have in your resume. Um, Honorable mention is Roadhog. I had Hog in here, but honestly, I feel like Roadhog tends to teach you how to play a little selfishly. I still like him because he's a good carry tank, and he's one of the better ones you could play if you are getting no help and need to heal yourself, etc. Be a one-man show. But these three that I'm going to pick will teach you the fundamentals of the game and be also viable through most elos. And honestly, it's just been my method so far. Recently, I've changed it because we're hero, but let's get right into it. Starting off with Sigma, Figma, whatever you want to call him. The reason I am a big Sigma fan is because he basically can do it all and is good into almost every matchup. There are counter matchups to look for, but Sigma provides a fundamental thing that I believe that a lot of low elo players need to learn, which is having a character that has a low floor, meaning you can play them and get value. Like, you could be completely I lag in the practice range now for some reason. Not in a regular game, but whatever. Sigma has one thing that I really like, which is a low floor, meaning if you are playing Sigma poorly, you are still going to get some inherent value out of it. Throw a shield out, fire your primary fire, you're still valuable. Throw rocks, give a shield, and he's just got that low floor that I believe that no matter how poorly you are playing him while you're in the process of learning him, you're not going to be a complete major detriment to you. Sigma also teaches positioning on tanks, which is important because he's obviously not as good in a melee range as he is at a decent distance. Teaches you to keep your distance properly and how to play a little bit more difficult matchups, and just not how to how to not overextend. It's kind of hard to overextend with Sigma. Playing Reinhardt, you're kind of it's basically overextending means you're dead. So I believe Sigma teaches you really good positioning as well. Now here's the other part of it that I like. His skill ceiling is very, very high as well. Basically, skill ceiling and skill floor differences, if you guys don't know. Skill floor is how easy the character is to pick up and play. Skill ceiling is how hard it is to master and the extent of which mastery can take you to another level. Sigma has a very, very high skill ceiling as well as a low skill floor, in my opinion, of course, just an opinion. And also, at his top end, god damn, this is laggy today. I haven't played in a couple days. That's terrible. It's 229 ping. Sigma is one of the better tanks in high elo as well. I have managed to basically play only Sigma as my main tank for most of my run, and somebody else in this video as well. So I just think Sigma's good. Now, Sigma also has another thing going for him that I'm a big fan of for low elo players, which is a big, big ultimate that teaches you pretty much high risk versus high reward ultimate play. So Sigma's ult is Gravitic Flux, one of the stronger tank ultimates, but is also easily countered. So it's going to teach you a lot about how to utilize ultimates, not burn them, and once you're good at using Gravitic Flux, you'll realize what you can get away with it and what you can't. Overall, Sigma's variety and his versatility and overall skill floor to ceiling range is why I have him as one of my best picks for a low elo player to learn. Again, Roadhog is also swappable here, but I'd personally definitely pick Sigma over Roadhog if you're picking a new hero to learn as a low elo player. Let's go into number 2, Ramattra. Ramattra is the one who actually replaced Roadhog on my list, because while Roadhog teaches you to play selfishly as a carry, Ramattra doesn't require you to do that as a carry, and that doesn't necessarily mean he's a better carry, but I feel like you will get more value out of Ramattra without having to learn as much. Roadhog is very easy to get no value on if you're bad at him. If you're good at him, of course, he's great. But being a bad Roadhog player usually means you're growing the game. I haven't seen many bad Roadhogs because my tank plays a lot of Roadhog and he's good at him, but it can get pretty bad. So Ramattra has a lot of versatility. Once again, a low skill floor, high skill ceiling, which is something I always look for trying to help people learn the game and get better and climb at the same time. Lots of range. The primary fire, once again, inherent value is just damage at a distance. You can use Ramattra's abilities very poorly and get inherent value without much drop off comparatively to playing somebody else. Now, with that being said, Ramatra's skill ceiling is one of the highest of all the tanks in my opinion. Using his bruiser form properly is also knowing when to do it versus just doing it at will is a very, very different thing. Ramattra also has one thing that I love on tanks and low elo, and something that I think Sigma has, but not nearly as much, is the game-changing low-risk ultimate. Yes, you can get blown up, but if you are in bronze, silver, gold, most people aren't countering Ramattra as well as, the higher you get. But even when you get higher, this ultimate still has higher value. Still a very good game-changing ultimate. And overall, I just think Ramattra's kit is able to be utilized in a way that you can pretty much use him through every rank, and he will grow. Your Ramattra play will grow as your rank grows. But while you're in low elo, it's going to help you climb without needing to master him. As you grow with the character will still remain viable, and you'll just get better at using the tips and tricks. Comment down below if you want me to do instant breakdowns on specific characters. I'm not super good at doing those, but I definitely could if you guys are interested of the few of the characters I play a lot of. Yeah, Ramattra, if you just play him through, you will master him over time, and he will grow with you, and he's been viable pretty much since launch with, varying degrees. Next up, he's a surprising one maybe, D.Va. D.Va maintains her spot as my favorite dive tank to teach people. Winston is good, right? I like Winston. But, two things. Winston is a lot harder than D.Va in my opinion, as far as mastery goes. The skill floor of Winston is much higher too. You will get inherent value on D.Va that you will not get on Winston. Winston is a great counter pick. I like Winston. But once again, if you're playing bad as Winston, you're pretty much playing 15 times worse than a bad D.Va. D.Va has more inherent easy value to get. Now, skill ceiling, I think Winston's actually a little better. But that's not what we're looking for here. D.Va teaches you dive tank basics, dive tank basic mechanics, and risk versus reward much easier than Winston, and you're not going to get punished as much. Why aren't you going to get punished as much? Let's talk about one of the biggest get-out-of-jail-free cards a tank has. Defense Matrix. DM is a super, super useful tool for people who are still learning their positioning. Let's say you overextend a little bit. DM, back up, rush out. You have all these mechanics at your disposal to help you basically make up for your starter level, or, well, if you're saying you're low skill, I'm not going to say that, but low skill, while you're learning how to get better at those things. And D.Va is going to allow you to do that without punishing you much as somebody else. Rockets, pretty simple, self-explanatory. Even if you're not using them as bestly as you can, you're just going to get extra damage out of them. Her primary fire is easy to use. Diving is easy with D.Va. You don't have to have some sort of master mechanic. And the biggest difference between playing D.Va and Winston, in my opinion, especially one, in low elo for value, and two, in low elo for how hard it is to utilize, is the ultimate ability. D.Va's ult, you are at the bare minimum basic gameplay where you're just learning. You just drop this thing anywhere, and it might kill the entire enemy team. Obviously, get more creative with it. You can use, the jets to launch the bomb. Maybe fuck it up a few times, but most of the time, you can start learning alternate usages for the ultimate. Whereas Winston, if you're utilizing his ultimate improperly, you're basically just running around whacking people, which is still fine, but D.Va's, you're probably more likely to get more value out of a D.Va ult in low elo than you are at a Winston ult, and her ult is much easier to utilize the advanced mechanics of as well. Whereas Winston, juggling with Winston is one of the things I've struggled the most to teach people with. I just feel like most people don't quite grasp it. I'm not even good at it either. I'm not good at Winston, which is partially why I don't recommend him, because I can't really help you with the Winston game. I think he's hard as hell for me. But D.Va also just, I don't know, she's just able to be a playmaker, she's able to carry, she's able to be a smart tank, and if you need a dive tank in your roster, that's just the one I would recommend to you. Now, why do I structure this like this? I always say learn 3 characters of your role. For DPS, same way. Looking at your characters, you have D.Va as your dive tank. You dive. You have Ramattra as your all-around carry. Sigma kind of is the same way. Normally for DPS, I go a little bit more variety, but for the others, for tank, I usually prefer to go with this method because I feel these tanks are viable throughout all ranks. They teach you the basic fundamentals of the game. Other good picks, these are people I'd put much below these 3. I'd say Roadhog is good. Don't mind Orisa either at all. I like Orisa. I like teaching people Orisa. If you find you're more comfortable with Orisa than like Sigma, Ramattra, D.Va, then swap out Ramattra or Sigma for Orisa. or swap out Ramattra or Sigma for Roadhog. But at the same time, just make sure you keep D.Va. I'd say is the most important one, because I think as far as dive tanks go, there are no better options to learn with than D.Va. Definitely rather see you play Winston or D.Va than Winston or Ball. I know a lot of people are going to question Maga. Find Maga to be easily punishable, and when you're learning the game or not so great at the game, positioning tends to be one of the biggest things people ignore as a tank. A lot of just, I'm flat. Holy lag, bro. Oh man, that was fun. Positioning tends to be the problem with tanks. They overextend, think they can kill somebody that they can't, and then they end up getting punished. And Maga, once you're in, is a lot easier to punish. Even low elo players going to switch to an Ana, anti you, and blow you up, which you have a little bit more say with D.Va, Sigma, Ramattra, in my opinion. Comment down below if you agree with the list. Comment down below also if you have different characters you think are good for low elo players to learn, and if you've used someone else that has helped you climb or taught you game in a proper way. Please let me know, and I'll do some research into it. I always like changing these videos up depending on some other people. This is just my method. There's definitely other ways to climb. But I just try to make it as easy as possible on people who are trying to learn the game for the first time or have been stuck and can't seem to, focus on learning the fundamentals. This is my method. So, Ramattra, Sigma, D.Va, comment down below. Like I said, see you guys in the next one. Fix this out.